Hey, how you doing, man? It's Joe D, and welcome to Share a Beer Show 453. It's a great number. Next week's number will be even better because we'll have all F starting numbers. It'll be fantastic. Plus, as Andrew pointed out in the pre-show just a second ago, it's a fantastic motor that Chevrolet made and still makes to this day. It's a big block. It's fantastic, you know. So for those of you that have that motor, I won't say it till next week because that'll be special. That'll be, you know, between us right here. You know what I'm saying? So how's everybody doing? Andrew, how you doing, man? Have that motor. I won't say it till next week.
Literally just got home from shopping and literally got in front of the computer with less than 5 minutes to spare.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I am kind of just getting going right now myself.
Yeah, Mom and I worked overtime today. Got home a little bit after 2, and literally, Mom and I went to Costco, and we also ran to local Cub and got some stuff, and got back home. It's like I told Mom, gotta be home before 6. Beer show tonight. Not me.
It's like Homer.
It's another one for the ages.
Joe, don't tell me that was something I'm thinking it was.
Sound like Homer Simpson over there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back.
You've had some great loops, but that was like the worst ever.
Yeah,
the worst / best.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to picture that in my head again. Thank you very much, but no, thank you.
Yeah,
well, let me make it all better. Here we go. Watch.
Special fucking shout out to Joe D.
Of course.
And the rest of his craft beer cunts.
Yeah.
Just notice he's fucking talking shit. Not the bootlicking drinkers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Joe D. You fat piece of shit.
Yeah.
Believe I called you out to make a bootlicker video like damn near 8 years ago. Never fucking did it. Now you do people hangouts talking about me week after week. Up yours, Joe D.
Yeah.
You fat piece of shit.
That's my favorite part.
You fat piece of shit.
That part's great.
He goes all in. He goes all in.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go back and listen to your audio loop there. That was classic.
I will have to go back and listen to that one. I also have this
Special fuck you shout out to Joe D.
This was the new intro I forgot to play.
And the rest of his craft beer cunts. Just notice he's fucking talking shit.
Hey Joe, Pam is in the chat.
On YouTube.
Oh really?
In place of Mark.
Joe D, you fat piece of shit.
There's MC Mark.
I'm the king of smoke, there is none higher. Sucker beer geeks should call me sire. Burn my Buddha, must use fire. I won't stop smoking till I retire. Now I rock the party, come for rest. Smoke is on time, and the beers connect. Got the right to smoke and fill a left. Others can't stand it, but give you respect.
I don't know who that is, but whoever it is.
You fat piece of shit.
Yeah, that is gonna be. I mean, that is like forever, man. I love that.
You're gonna be playing that 10 years from now.
I hope Steele trolls one of these videos and he happens to see that you mentioned I never got no invite from you years ago, like you claim.
All right. Yeah, so we have Pam, who is the other side of the MC that gave us that really nice intro. So thank you to MC Marky Mark.
Now, is Mark not able to get on here tonight? Obviously, he's on Pam's phone, but is he having technical difficulties or?
Yeah, I don't know.
It looks like Mark's phone is out of action.
Yeah, probably. Either that or he's just out and about. Who knows? I don't know.
No excuse.
Yeah, no excuse. Damn it. Yeah. Well, at least he's here. He's present. You know, and accounted for. So,
That's one.
Any
strike.
case, huh? What was that?
That's one strike. 2 more
Yeah,
strikes.
That's it. 2 more. That's it, man. That's a hard, fast rule right here. That's it. So how you doing, Bum? What's up, man?
I'm doing good. I'm like Andrew. I just barely made it home in time for the show.
Good.
But let's just say I've been warming up for the show all afternoon.
Oh boy. Okay, so we must have a good malt liquor report.
Well, yeah, but that's an ongoing thing all week. The malt liquor report takes an entire week to prepare.
Right.
Yeah,
That's good. And Tom, how's it going, brother?
I am doing fantastic. Enjoying a nice brew. Just hanging out, man.
Right on. So what are you having? Start us out, man. What are you having?
Oh, I'm drinking. It recently just came to our area. Pseudo Sue by Toppling Goliath.
Oh, Pseudo Sue.
I guess this is one place in my area that now has. I guess they sell their products. It's a really good beer. It's kind of hard. It's PSEUDO.
What's going on here? Wait a minute. What the hell's happening here? Oh, Oh, okay. That's what happens. All of a sudden, an E got stuck on Untapped, and you get some weird website. If you put an E in Untapped, you get some kind of weird thing. They must get a lot of hits on that website though, because Untapped's pretty damn popular. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you spell that beer?
PSEUDO. If you put pseudo, it should just come up. Pseudo.
Oh, okay, yeah. Toppling Goliath, yeah. You have double dry hopped and mosaic dry.
Yeah, I have the regular. Just the
regular.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Let's check this out. Yeah, a few people have had this one.
Only a couple.
Only a couple. Yeah. What's up? So you got 222,000 ratings on here. 3,600 in the last 30 days. 5.8% ABV, 50 IBUs, and a 4.23 bottle cap rating. That's a fantastic rating.
Mm.
I'm having an IPA as well. I'm having another Space Dust, but this single hop pale ale showcases the Citra hop for a well balanced beer that is delicate in body with a mild bitterness in the finish.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good brew. I remember we had it at GABF.
Yeah,
but it was like old. It didn't taste right. Out of the can, it's a lot better.
Yeah, you remember me and you talking about specifically. I mean, it's tough, man, when you're at especially such a huge beer fest like that. Even your smaller one, actually, now that I think about it, it might be worse at your smaller ones because they're pouring the same beer in the same pitcher, and if there's not as many people, keeping that beer rotating out of said pitcher, Lord knows how long that beer has been sitting there by the time you get to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
they ship all their kegs there like 3 weeks, 4 weeks early, and the kegs are just sitting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't really. I feel like you can't really judge that many beers because they're all not at their freshest.
I know years ago now, and it's been years ago. We got some kegs from, I won't say which brewer because I don't, but. A lot of kegs are shipped refrigerated, right? Because they have to be kept cold. And we got some kegs, and at my job, we're not a refrigerated carrier. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh,
yeah,
Have
you ever had beer in the refrigerator. You took it out, put it back in the refrigerator, and tasted it, and it was horrible.
Yeah, I could just imagine. And then, and then, we're just regular a freight hauling company, so
LTL.
yeah, you get a couple of kegs of beer, and it's being handled like any other freight. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh man, those kegs are gonna be done, son. Like, oh my god, But yeah, so yeah, that's just to say that you don't know a lot of things about those particular kegs unless they're shipped with a lot of care. Yeah, Bum, what are you having, my friend?
I'm having a Pabst.
Oh, nice. Dilly.
Dilly. But this is not your daddy's Pabst.
Oh, look at that. Oh, this ain't your
Ready?
New and upgraded label.
So is that a can that you got out of an Oldsmobile?
No. Good guess, though. This is a Pabst APA.
Oh, awesome.
American Pale Ale.
Wow.
From Pabst.
Wow. Is that award winning as well, or?
Yeah, like did that win an award 100 years ago?
Nah, because back then there wasn't such a style. This is yet another attempt from Pabst at cashing in on the craft beer craze.
So is that a new can, Bum?
It's a brand new can, brand
Really?
new style. Allegedly, it's a brand new style. I have read that this beer is kind of a repackaging of their old tankard, which I tried on here a couple years ago, which was allegedly a recipe that they revived from the 1930s.
Wow, okay. So we're going to look this up. Are you tasting anything different? Does it taste different?
It tastes better than Pabst, and there's certainly more hops.
Okay. Well, give us a give us a look at your.
I realize both of those statements are kind of stating the obvious.
Give us a look at your pint, and because it does look a little darker.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe slightly a little more dark than your typical macro stuff.
Yeah, just a little darker.
Yeah,
pretty darn filtered though. But
I want to say it almost looks like a German Pilsner.
yeah, it definitely does. And I poured it about 15 minutes ago, and bubbles are still rising.
Well, let's see. It was added August. What is that? August 26, 2017. 531 ratings. I have not seen this yet. 353 in the last 30 days. So
335 in the last month.
335. I'm sorry, 335. So 5% ABV, 30 IBUs. No description, but it's the pale, or what they're calling a pale ale version.
Yeah.
Of Pabst. Let's get some looks at some of the pictures that people have posted. There's the can. He's got a 16 ouncer.
You can't fool me, Joe. I know you're just doing some untapped stalking here.
Yeah. That's it. You gotta keep an eye out because you never know.
You gotta do stalking where you can for beers.
It's all beer research there, Bum. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh, I have no problem with untapped. There we go right there.
There's one.
Yeah, I don't know what does that have to do with well, that's where you drink Pabst, right? That's where Pabst ends up going.
Very true. Maybe she was serving a Pabst.
Maybe she was serving a Pabst.
What's that picture to the left? There we go.
Yeah, we have a couple of Pabst beer servers, right?
There's a few Pabst there.
Yeah, a few Pabst taps, right?
Here we go. Come on, settle down.
That's Here's a look at the actual beer. How about that? Look at that.
It looks nice in that glass. It looks darker in that glass.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It looks darker.
It's about the same.
Yeah, it matters with how you look at it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You got a little bit more light behind it, though, Bum.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. Is yours a 16-ounce glass? Yours looks like a 16-ounce
Mine's a
can.
12. Mine's a 12.
Looks like a 12. Yeah.
Yeah. But in any case, definitely a step up from your typical Pabst swill. And I guess it's the latest attempt by Pabst to, cash in on the craft beer market. Their last attempt, I guess, has been discontinued, which is the Ballantine IPA. From what I have heard and from what I've seen on store shelves, Ballantine IPA has been discontinued. So the beer world has gone crazy. We have Pabst making American Pale Ale. For God's sakes, we have now Founders making bland lager, which I checked in on Untapped this past week.
Bland lager,
golden lager, in a generic retro-looking can. The beer world has gone crazy.
That's more. That's even more offensive, really.
Yeah, that's actually way more offensive.
Yeah.
That piece of shit.
Well, that as well.
That was obviously addressed at me, in my opinion.
Oh, Kent, did you hear
None
the
of this stuff's malt liquor.
So what's Mark saying in the chat there? What's happening in the chat?
Oh, he wants to know. He wants to know what would happen if he decided to live stream the chat while at a symphony or something.
Oh,
Oh my days.
So they're at the symphony tonight with
Cool.
Rachmaninoff or something.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
And a little shot Takeovich.
Oh right.
So,
oh yeah. I know.
I have to admit. Okay, now we're gonna get into that later. Let's get into what Craig's drinking. What are you drinking, Craig?
I'm drinking Selassie from Omipolo.
Ooh, very nice.
Selassie. How do you spell that?
SELASS. It should come up. There's two different versions.
Yeah. Mailbox or Vice?
No, it's the EU version. It's ELA Selassie from Omipolo. Should come up.
Oh, okay. Is it? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm missing something. So SELISSEN?
No, SELASS. Yeah.
Okay, now I got it.
Yeah, this is the EU version, whatever that means. But
okay. Well, you guys are definitely way different.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
we just broke from that tradition, so we.
yeah.
I just thought I'd give it. I've had it a year and a half. This bottle, funnily enough. But
oh, have you really?
Yeah, I didn't realise until I recently looked at it. It's got Ethiopian coffee
Nice.
in it.
Yeah, they do say that here.
And it's
What are you getting from that?
it's just got a nice that kind of sweetness from the vanilla. It's just really that's probably the most intense. But then it's got
like lactose.
Yeah, lactosey, but it's got a nice kind of dark chocolate without being that kind of baker's chocolate. It's more of a kind of a straight dark chocolate.
Is the vanilla still there? Are you still getting vanilla?
Yeah. Vanilla, coffee, that vanilla sweetness. It's just a really.
Is it like a bittersweet chocolate?
Yeah, kind of, but it's all kind of. I think it's just blended well together. Since I've had it. I've had it on draft once, but yeah, I'm enjoying this much more.
So here's the Selassie, the EU version on Untapped, 1,627 total, 103 in the last 30 days, 11% ABV. It's a big beer, a 4.23. I have not had this.
It's good. It's nice.
But yeah, that sounds an imperial stout with Ethiopian coffee and vanilla beans. I'm not opposed to any of that.
No, it's good shit.
So we've got. Let me see here. Pretty cool looking label on the bottle there.
It's like a weird ropey kind of thing.
Yeah, is it a snake or a tail?
Oh, I don't know. It just looks like one of those kind of well-run yachts, I suppose, with on a calm day, I guess.
Yeah.
but yeah. I don't know. It could be something else.
Beer looks pretty good, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It looks like a pretty good stout and sounds pretty good.
It's good. I mean, it's still leaving decent sort of coloured head on it. It's yeah, it's good. Yeah, actually, when I poured it, I thought, oh, it's 11% straight down the middle, and it's like, well, we're just back up there, and surprising.
So it's a Swedish brewery.
Yeah, from Stockholm. Yeah, they've been going since 2011. Yeah, you see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They make some great beers.
Oh, they do some great beer. They do like a soft serve, which is like kind of like ice cream, and
oh wow,
they're into a lot of they do a lot of flavorings and stuff like that.
And they ship a lot. They ship a lot to the States, surprisingly, for where they're located.
Do they really? Okay.
Yeah.
They're very kind of brightly. I think is it the I think 16-ounce cans you get. I know they certainly get them in Canada. I know that.
What is this? This one's got eggs. What's happening here?
I don't think
it's
got eggs in it.
Breakfast.
Yeah. Is it their version of a breakfast stout? Yeah, is that what it is? It's.
I don't know what the egg thing's about, but that's been around locally as well. But they're about £10 a go. So.
Wow.
Which is like what. $12 maybe a bottle.
12%. Man, these are some big beers because this one's 12%, 40 IBUs. This one also has a pretty good rating.
But that toasted maple stout looks delicious on the side. It sounds delicious.
No, they do some amazing beers. It's a great, quite a lot of collaborations with a brewery in the UK called Buxton Brewery. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them.
Buxton, that sounds familiar. Yeah,
they do. I'm trying to think. They do like the is it the Noah, which is the one with the kind of a smiley face thing.
Oh, I remember that label though. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, same brewery.
Yeah. Oh, look at Tom's got it right there as well. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't get cans over here, which is weird. But yeah, I'd rather have it in a can and a bottle.
Probably better off without the cans.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had it before. I liked it, but I didn't like it at the same time.
Hey, well, thanks for sharing that one with us, Craig.
That piece of shit.
No problem.
Every time you say thank you,
I am a craft beer.
but you're not a fat piece of shit.
No.
That's reserved for only a select few on the show, Greg.
I'd be deeply offended with that one.
Yeah.
No, that line specifically is directed towards those of us who are oversized and overweight.
Yeah. You're just grouped in with the whole group there is what happens. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it just becomes, part of it. What so speaking of the malt liquor connoisseurs, what is happened in a week?
You fat piece of shit.
Yeah, I've got to get that Billy D little quote down, man. Works every time.
Okay, well, since last week, as we all remember, I reported last week on the absence of the Incredible Hulk of malt liquor, Mr. Rayner 009. Unfortunately, it's a week later and we still have not heard anything from Mr. Rayner. So hopefully he is okay. However, we do have a good bit of news as far as the malt liquor medical report. Somebody else who's been absent all year finally made an appearance last week. Our old friend Jay Vega 419
really
finally made a video last week, and that was only his second video in the year of 2018. And I believe the video was called "The Mac is Back." And he, in his prelude, which he always does just before he chugs, he explained that he has had the worst case of flu that anybody has ever had, and he's still not 100% over it, but he's slowly bouncing back. But and he proceeded to chug a 40-ounce in 5 minutes after he made that announcement. So
It doesn't
Jay
sound
Vega
very
is
well.
back. And in the comments section, Malt Mustang gave a friendly reminder to Jay Vega that since he last appeared, that the Share a Beer show has moved to Saturdays now, in case he wants to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have to let him know. You know what I'm saying?
It's only fair because Jay Vega has been with us since the beginning. So
yeah,
it's only been that somebody let him know, that we've moved. So I put Malt Mustang on the assignment, and he came through and said, "Catch us now on Saturdays at 7 p.m."
Yeah, I think Jay Vega even chimed in once or twice on our chats on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, on the live chat. Yeah, Jay Vega. Yeah, has my God, he's been around almost as long as the Share a Beer show itself. So Jay Vega has been one of our longest serving supporters, other than the chairman, of course.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because the chairman goes back 8 years. He made that very clear.
Right. Not 8 years, Joe. That's the thing. It's not 8 years. It's damn near 8 years.
Oh yeah, damn near. Yeah. We have to get that right.
Yeah. I found it funny that you were laughing at him. You found it funny that he was saying, "I called you out 8 years ago." I found it even funnier that he was saying not 8 years, but damn near 8 years ago.
Yeah, damn near.
40 years.
Like 7 years, 3 months, and 3 weeks.
Right. Yeah. Or something like that. Yeah. Minus a day or two. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's our friend Jay Vega with his Chucky shirt on.
Return of the Mac.
Yeah. Yep. And that looks like a man who has just gone through a bad case of flu, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I wonder if it has something to do with did he get some bad Colt 45 maybe?
I think he's been tangoed. He's been tangoed.
No, there is no such thing, because these guys have consumed Colt 45 that's 5 years old, and they've said it's still refreshing and delicious.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, they don't care about the dates, do they?
No, they do not.
They just it's in a bottle they drink, I guess, right?
Well, that's all he drinks on camera.
Oh, this is awesome. Look at you've got him drinking some malt liquor, and then the top video right here is the 30 greatest New Jack swing songs 1987 1993. Do you think that they actually watch these videos while they're drinking malt liquor?
Some of them, it's very possible.
Huh? You think they watch who's this Bobby Brown right now? Do you think they have?
What's going
Bobby
on?
Brown. Yeah. Look at him go.
And Keith Sweat with big sweaters. Do you think they, have the old, the old oversized, big, heavy, thick sweaters with stone-washed jeans?
Who's got a mullet?
Oh Jesus! I remember the mullets.
Well,
business up front and the party in the back.
Well,
AKA the IRA.
Where's the mullet? We've watched Nick Stud. Nick Stud still wears the mullet.
Yeah. There's quite a few of them still sporting the mullet. So yeah. There's. What else do we have, Bum?
Okay, well, we do have more news from the chairman himself.
Oh boy!
Now the chairman did once again. We went another week, and he did not cuss you out, Joe. However,
man.
And this is the first of all my time watching the chairman's videos. Of all people this past week, he cussed out Greg's beer reviews, our old friend Greg.
Really? Wow. Oh, I got to see this.
Oh, wow.
So, you know what, Joe, I'm not sure. I don't have it queued up. I don't know what video to go to, because he 8 videos this past week, so I
Oh wow.
cannot guide you to it. I will be able to guide you to something else though. All I can tell you is he kept calling him Craig, and when I first heard that, I was like, "Oh, is that Kent Beer Reviews?" But it's not. No, he meant Greg because, and I don't want to say too much because I know Greg is an old friend of the show. He just said 3,000 craft beer reviews, and he said Santa Claus looking motherfucker. So
I gotta hear that. So
Yeah.
is it on his second channel or his main?
no, you know what, Joe? He has so many videos. He's done like 12 videos this past week.
Oh,
I
wow.
will have it for you next week
Okay.
because
Yeah,
you'll never find it.
we gotta hear that. That is awesome.
Yeah, you know what? I should have like bookmarked it. I'll have it for you next Saturday.
Let me see. Yeah. Oh yeah, he made one 17 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's impossible to keep up with him, but I will go back and search his videos for the past week, and I will see. I didn't know if you wanted to play that or not because Greg's a show alumni.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I mean, hell, if I'm gonna play stuff that happened to me, you think I'm gonna hesitate to play something that happened to someone else?
So, okay. Knowing that, I will guide you to it next week at this time.
Oh yeah, especially when he's talking about him being Mr. Santa Claus.
Yeah. But I just found it funny. Numerous times he kept calling him Craig, which threw me off at first.
Yeah. Well, Craig's used to that by now. I mean,
yeah, I suppose. But anyway, we do have something else.
I get cool.
Oh, missed that. Craig.
Yeah, there's a lot of
lag.
I get called lots of. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I would imagine if he was actually talking about Craig, he would probably call him Kent. You know, he'd probably call him Kent. You know.
So we do have something good from the chairman though. If you want to look this up, Joe.
Yeah.
We have there's a new malt liquor drinker that has popped up in the last couple weeks, and he's from south of the border, and he's popped up out of nowhere. Now, the P Glen is the first guy that I heard mention him, and he said, "I'm not going to mention this guy by name, but he's ripping on me, so I'm not going to mention him by name, and I don't know where he is and who he is and where he came from." So that made me first aware that there was somebody ripping on the P Glen. Well, I didn't find out who this person's name was until this past week when the chairman did a shout out video to this guy. And I guess the chairman likes this guy because he cussed out the P Glen. So this person's name is Acero Mundial. And if you go to Steel Worldwide's main channel, you will see shout out to Acero Mundial.
Okay, I need to go to the
It's probably like 3 videos in.
Okay, yeah, I am on the main channel. Okay, so let me see here.
I believe it's Steel Worldwide 1, his original channel.
And let me see here. Let me go to the. Here's the list of his videos. Are you seeing it here?
You know what? It might be Steel Worldwide 2. Try Steel Worldwide 2.
Okay, let's go back. There it is, Steel Worldwide 2. Let's check. I wonder, why does he have 2 channels? Why does he have 2?
Yeah, third video in, Acero Mundial.
Maybe you tried to get double the views.
Yeah. So there's his video. Now he gives Acero Mundial. He gives him a shout out in Spanish.
So this is him on TV.
He's showing.
He's showing himself watching somebody else.
He's showing Acero Mundial watching Steel Worldwide.
Oh my God! So he's showing.
This Acero Mundial is like kind of imitating Steel Worldwide. He's got the Adidas jacket on.
He does.
And actually, at one point, Acero is holding a little dog wearing a matching Adidas jacket.
That is a dog, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a dog.
Yeah.
But now it's interesting that he doesn't have a huge pile of pesos in front of him.
No, it's not a total.
But it's enough. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a total homage, but you can tell he is emulating the chairman.
And being from south of the border, oh, he thinks he's funny. Look at this.
Yo, he likes him.
He's amused.
He likes him because he's cussing out the Piglen.
I don't like him happy. I don't like him happy. It doesn't suit him.
Shout out to the Ciro Pandal.
His voice is brilliant.
They wanted to see him coming up with a luchador mask, drinking a Mexican beer, with an Adidas jacket on, while holding a dog with a matching Adidas jacket.
Awesome.
And flipping off the piss gland.
Just brilliant. It is just
Shout out to you, that piece of shit. Like a video.
another piece of shit.
This is good.
Piece of shit. Batman the Hatches. Perfect fucking cock toss. Batman that fucking toupee. Don't cunt.
It's a hurricane.
Brian, can't wait till this hits your fucking area and wipes you off the flat earth. Florida's a shithole.
The flat earth.
Hurricane.
So if you want to fast forward, Joe,
Yeah.
where he addresses Acero Mundial in Spanish, just go to 5 minutes and 30 seconds. It's classic.
The flat
Yeah.
earth.
'Cause of course, I got to hear this.
Oh, we all have.
Started at 5:27.
Buenas noches, amigo. Mucha cerveza, mucho dinero.
I imagine the last two words he said was malt liquor.
Yeah.
Let him
The
take
way
his
he
drink
said
and
it.
he resumes.
Oh, he does? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he resumes after he's done chugging.
Que pasa, amigo?
Jesus.
And one more. He's got one more bit.
Oh,
of
he's got one more?
one more bit of Spanish coming up.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
That's German.
German.
Konnichiwa, bitches. Mushy, mushy.
Mushy mushy.
Jesus.
You fat piece of shit.
Okay, that's enough from him, man. Yeah, that's too much, man. He just threw it all in there. While he was going, multilingual there, he just decided, I'm going to stick everybody in there. Right?
He threw you in there, Come on.
Yeah, he just figured, while I'm going Spanish, I might as well go a little German, and I might as well go a little Japanese, and I might as well, he just threw everything in there.
And then
Hey, Zach.
the universal language, malt liquor.
Yeah, look at yeah, that's hilarious, man.
So that is it. That is it for tonight. I will have the link to the Greg cuss out next week.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I gotta hear that. That is awesome. I gotta hear that. Well, we'll probably run that on a hyper loop for some, that's got to be. I mean, what are friends for? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Joe, if it's fine with you, it's fine with me.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay.
Yeah, why not stir the pot? We might as well get that conversation started. And that way, Greg can hear about it and pop on here and give his thoughts about about the malt liquor community.
I think I already have an idea of what Greg thinks about the malt liquor community.
Yeah, so do I. I've
Yeah.
never spoke to him, but I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too, man. Yeah, but
Greg gets upset about brown ink on brown bottle.
yeah.
So I can imagine what he thinks about the chairman of the malt liquor community cussing him out.
Right.
Make a 30-minute video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I remember right, when we were still doing, specific beers for specific shows, I think when we hit malt liquor, Greg was like, "Oh, hell no." I think Greg was like, "Yeah, I am not having any part of big beer." Like, you know what I'm saying?
But Greg did do a malt liquor video as one of his reviews.
Oh, he did.
Yes, he did. He did an
Must have
actual
been an
malt
early-
liquor video where
early
he followed
review.
the blueprint and cracked it on camera, and yeah.
Well, then you never know what his reaction might be. He might actually be pretty flattered by it. He might actually think. It's pretty funny
I
as
think
well.
he did it as a joke more than anything.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the way I did my root beer, my original soda review. And I actually kind of did the Lime Marita one tongue in cheek as well, but that one ended up going the other way on me, and I just wrote it. I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? Why fight it?
Yeah, I had a coconut Rita this other day. You guys heard of that one?
Hey, Earth.
Oh yeah, we covered the new
talked about
Ritas.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Cocoa
Yeah,
Rita.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, what's up, Earth? How you doing, brother?
Good.
Hey, Zach, how you doing, man?
Going.
What's the latest, Zach? What are you having today? What's been the latest going on in the Denver craft beer scene?
Oh, just kind of ramping up for spring, I guess. Get ready for baseball season. We tapped a tag-along Girl Scout cookie porter today.
Oh,
Girl Scout cookie porter.
Peanut butter porter.
So we tapped that today. Have a strawberry shortcake blonde ale coming out on Wednesday.
That sounds good.
yeah, that sounds great.
Delectable.
Yeah, kind of just getting ramped up, trying to keep up and just do the thing,
Right. Man, peanut butter just seems like it's not going anywhere, right? Like peanut butter just seems like a very popular stick around sort of style.
No pun
Great way
intended.
to make your shitty beer. It's a great way for people that make shitty beer to make their beer taste sweet and most delicious. I would suggest the malt liquor community check out some peanut butter with their shitty beers.
Yeah, hey, what's up with that? What maybe if they've put some peanut butter in there, more people would kind of go to it. What do you think there, Zach?
Yeah, might as well. You can't fuck it up any worse.
I don't think Zach has heard the full chew out or seen the video.
I
I've
think
seen the video it's the last one of. Oh yeah, that's the one dumbass did.
Yeah, that's the one.
I mean, you're a malt liquor drinker. I would expect a lot more. I was a little bit like, that's like my grandma's talked to me like that before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a little bit. If you're gonna rant, I mean, come on, right?
Go on a rant, like go on a rant, like
Yeah, go on a real rant. Be a man.
Like, if you're drinking some serious shit, like I should feel like a schoolyard whipping boy if malt liquor is so superior.
Like I've said, Zach, we're just like a fly buzzing around the face of Steel Worldwide. He has.
He
Yeah,
can't.
which is
He
a
can't
minor
kill us.
annoyance.
He
Is
can't kill
that
us.
due to like all the nacho and the shitty
He's-
malt liquor residue that's around his
No,
liquor supply?
he's more concerned about the serious stuff like the people committing label fraud and crimes against the malt itself.
True. That's true.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
craft beer, that's nothing. That's like a flea
Yeah,
buzzing around your.
that's true. That is true. Yeah, we're not.
Well, I got to apologize. My daughter she's 4 years old and makes some really weird drawings. They're much better than malt liquor labels. Must be labels. I'd love to get into a little battle with one of them little bastards.
Yeah, I like it like this. This is a lot more entertaining to me, man. This is a lot more fun. Just
Yeah, Zach. A few weeks ago, we got into talking about Steel Worldwide, and if a few of us, like myself, Joe, Earth, and maybe head coach, were to meet Steel Worldwide somewhere, he'd be running the other way really quick.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to step into the same place.
no, I'd have.
I'm a guy that my shoes are usually clear of roaches. And I enjoy, if somebody's gonna piss on my feet, I don't want it to be a trend.
Right. Hey, Earth. So what are you drinking, my friend? What are you sampling, man? Anything fantastic?
Well, I'm drinking my go-to from Pacific Drift, an IPA.
Ah. Right on.
I just got back just as soon as I logged on, so.
Also,
okay, so.
I don't know if you guys heard. I know Andrew heard, but I was in the ER all last night.
Were you really? What happened, man?
Just some health stuff. Went and had my physical, and everything was all right. And got a call about an hour later that hey, some stuff was elevated. Need you to hydrate. Come back on Monday. Then, like an hour after that, while I was at work, she called and goes, "Well, we talked to the blood doctor, and you're at extreme risk of having a stroke. So
Whoa.
you come into the hospital right now. Just super high red blood cell levels.
Ooh.
That's not good.
So getting that figured out right now.
Okay. Well, that's man. Hey, well, cheers to health, brother. Cheers to health, man.
Got home about 2:00 this morning. Still went to work today. And went out and busted it up. So
You take care, Zach.
Yeah, man, absolutely,
Yeah.
brother. We're hey, let's fill our glasses up, make sure they're full.
I could
Give a
just
big
drink beer and stuff. So
big toast to good reporting, man, this week from the
Oh, yeah.
doctor.
yeah, I
Yep.
got
you
a
know.
lot of shit I gotta take care of this week.
We'll give Zach a big macro beer dilly.
Dilly.
A big dilly. Yeah,
Dilly, Zach.
a Pabst APA dilly.
Just lube it up a little bit.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's pretty serious, bro.
Yeah, they think it's probably years of just not sleeping right
Yeah, man.
Right.
and not
Really?
getting not enough getting oxygen for just years and years on end.
Do
Just
they think,
producing like 100. They said 129% more red blood than I should. So
Jesus.
body's ramped up for something, but not quite getting a lot of oxygen.
so you're gonna have to wear a tank now? Or are you gonna have to have a tank with you? Or
No, I think it'll just be a sleeping thing. That's what I'm hoping.
I've got sleep apnea, and I've been using machines for the last 15 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, they say it really helps if you can't sleep. So I
Oh.
haven't slept a whole night in fucking long time.
Yep.
wow. Well, I sure do wish you luck with that, man. I mean, that's that is just not.
Care of and get some more beers, some more cigars, and keep going.
Yeah. Well, be careful with that stuff, man, because
oxygen and flames and fire don't exactly go together.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can joke about it, but you know what, man, that's some pretty serious stuff you're dealing with right there, bro. And
oh yeah.
So I do wish you the best, Zach. And I've got also, like I told you, the very beginning of this year, I've got 2 friends, man, that are in very, very serious heart conditions right now. You know what I'm saying? And similar situations. You know, the heart's only, you know, producing up to a certain level, and each one of them, man, is having to face you know, those decisions, whether they need to just look at retiring or not, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, you gotta get in and do what the doctor tells you.
Yeah, or you don't live. I mean, that's the options.
That's the options.
That's the options. I mean, you know, once you're and these are hard, cold things that we have to realize, man, because once you do hit that point, like if your heart's not getting enough oxygen and you hit that point, man, like it's a very serious thing, man, because your heart will overwork. And that's what causes that heart failure, man. That because now your heart's pumping and pumping and pumping to make up for that oxygen it's not getting, and it'll fail. And that's scary, man. That is scary.
Yeah. Well, another. I just keep saying another card dealt to the hand, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
whatever I get next, though, I've decided gets to be fun. I'm getting Tourette's next.
Oh, Jesus.
So you can just blurt out whatever swear word you want to.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of one perk to Tourette's, right? You know, once everybody knows
either that or you wind up smacking somebody just out of the blue and just boom.
Well, you know, see, that might explain this. I mean, you know, you could just kind of just to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I might have to join the malt liquor community.
You might have to join the malt liquor community.
You retire to the MLDC.
Yeah, you know.
You might have to start brewing malt liquor.
Yeah.
It's all under the same license.
Yeah, you wear a ski mask in these days, right?
Yep.
I mean, I see all the boys that shoot up schools wearing ski masks these days. I mean, why not? You know.
Well,
oh God.
I know Bum is waiting for whatever just sets them all off.
Yeah.
How much of a scab can we pick on them guys? Just a still ever.
A Bum, what was it a football game or a baseball game? Steel Worldwide and a couple other MLDC met, and they're approached by law enforcement.
No, that was I believe it was Falstaff and Mr. Met. That was Falstaff Brewing Company and Mr. Met, and they were in the parking lot. Was it the Candlestick Park parking lot? Were they at a 49ers game?
That's what I'm trying to figure out because we were talking about it, I think, last year sometime.
Yeah, that's on Mr. Met's channel, I believe.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Not a good choice of I mean that was funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because all of a sudden the cop comes in and all of a sudden the video just
yeah. No, video stops there. Trust me. Yeah, I can just imagine because I've got, you know, old friends, I've got family, I've got new friends, I've got people I work with that all happen to find my videos. You know what I'm saying? And if they found my videos and I'm wearing some ski mask going F you to this and that, I could just imagine what people would think of me. You know what I'm saying? What would
it doesn't stop at the review. It doesn't stop of the broadcast. It carries on.
Yeah, it carries on. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, imagine what your mama would say.
Yeah, is that a mom approved? Is that a mom? Do moms approve of you know, ski mask and.
Well, I will say though, Falstaff in a later video explained that even though that video came to an end, once the camera shut off, that those police officers, once they realized that they were in the presence of the malt liquor superstars,
oh Jesus!
they not only let them go, they asked for their autographs.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! No, yeah. Here, sign the ticket here. You will appear in court. Yeah, on this day. Yes. Yeah.
Falstaff explained it later on, so I believe him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's one reason you give an autograph to a police officer. Yeah, that's to verify the court date. In any case, let's get back to what our dear friend Marky Mark is doing. And I was kind of wondering that myself earlier. That's kind of been a thought of mine for a while. Is does anybody happen to go to the opera? Does anybody happen to dig going to plays, check out playbills, all that sort of thing? Is
I enjoy a good show.
Do you? So you like going to operas and plays and all that sort of thing?
I mean, I don't mind it if it's a good one. There's some good stuff. The symphony is really cool.
Mm. The Boston Symphony is pretty awesome.
Yeah, the Boston Symphony, they're pretty popular, right? What about yourself, Craig? Do you enjoy that sort of thing? Have you ever been?
I've never been. I think it's one of them things that even if you're not into it, if you went, you'd probably really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're there and you've got the atmosphere, and it's not generally my thing, but I've got enough drama in my life at the moment. But yeah,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Though it's kind of like, I reckon if I went, I'd really enjoy it. Though.
Yeah,
it's one of them.
You have to be in a mind state that you.
Yeah. Yeah, or even in a certain kind of mood, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just like Zach said. I have been as a child. I was forced to go. Another one of those things that woman that happens to pop into the chat every once in a while forced me to do. So I have been in my youth, but so I know what those sorts of things are all about. Earth, have you been to a opera, or a play or anything? You like going to those sorts of things?
I've been to Cats, I believe, in the Nutcracker, or maybe the Nutcracker, but no, it's not my lane.
Yeah,
never been to an opera.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Same as me.
Yeah. I'm the Italian dude that I've never been to an opera, but what about you, Bum?
I've never been to an opera. I don't think I've ever been to a symphony per se, but I would have no problem with it. My dad dragged me kicking and screaming in the 1970s, and my parents were much older than me. My dad dragged me to what was the operatic symphonic venue in Pittsburgh, the Heinz Hall, to see Count Basie and Les Brown and a lot of his big band guys.
There we go. We got class there.
Yeah. And
that's a very Italian thing to do. Big band, dear God.
Yeah. And at the time, I dreaded it. And now I thank God every day. I look up and say, thank you, Dad, for taking me to see these guys who I didn't realize back then. Back then I was like, my God, these guys are ancient. They're 60 years old.
Right. Yeah, man. But those guys are legends. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I saw Benny Goodman. I saw Count Basie. I saw Cab Calloway. I saw Les Brown. I think Helen O'Connell was singing for one of those bands. I saw a lot of those bands at their tail. I believe I saw Artie Shaw.
Wow.
A lot of those guys in the 70s when all those guys were in their mid to upper 60s and they were coming up on the tail end of their careers. And I didn't realize, thank God my dad took me to those because, yeah.
Yeah, if anything, just for the history, just for the legacy of it. Just,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. But as far as symphonic stuff, neither of my parents were ever into the symphony or anything. And probably the closest I came, I went to see the U.S. Air Force band play one time, and they were great.
They actually do what they call the flash mob thing once in a while. They've done the Air and Space Museum in D.C. a few times. Those videos are on YouTube, and those are impressive. How they start like one instrument, and then it just builds, and then all of a sudden they got the chorus upstairs in the second and third levels.
But yeah, I love all types of music, and I have no problem with symphonic music. But I just no, I did not go to see the symphony when I was a kid.
And Andrew, it sounds like you've done that sort of thing.
I haven't gone to any of them, but with the exposure they've had, like off of YouTube and say different artists like Henry Mancini and stuff that he's done for movies. I mean, he literally takes a whole orchestra and he could play just one song, and it's like, okay, this is connected to a movie, Pink Panther or 007 or something like that.
Right.
But I like music I listen to every day, plus the big bands and even the symphonies and stuff.
Right.
And it's not just the music itself that you're also looking at each individual as as they have a profession, and there's a lot to it. It's just like being a photographer.
Now, the one thing that's hilarious about having your mom in the chat room, she's telling on you. You know what I'm saying?
And he listened to Long Hair a lot. I bought him so many tapes.
Yeah. Now, back in the day, and like I told you, my mom would drag me by my ear. If you remember those days when your mom was allowed to drag you by the ear in public, would drag me by the ear to make me go see these sorts of things, because that has never really been my cup of tea. But I do. It is like a little sense of pride, like Bum said. One of the plays that I have seen, and my mom's pointing out, is I have seen the original Annie. That's kind of a big deal in the kind of a musical era, right? Like a lot of people make a big deal about seeing the original Annie, not the second one. You know, a lot of people seen the second one because the original wasn't around very long. And I have seen that, and we had the original album for quite some time, and I don't know whatever happened to that thing, but I have seen that. I've seen, the LA Symphony and, those sorts of things. I grew up with a musical background, if you will, around a lot of bands and stuff like that. So I have had that exposure. Operas and symphonies and all that sort of thing ain't necessarily my thing. I did get into a lot of classical music listening on records, and audio sort of thing on my own, Beethoven and all that sort of thing. Because I've played almost every instrument you can play, believe it or not.
Well, or
no, but I played them. I have played them. Yeah, I had that mother that, at least with me, not with my sister, but with me, I was forced to do these things. And I have that same sort of experience as an adult as Bum does with his father making him go to that deal, as I do with my mother forcing me to do some of these things, because I feel like it helped me learn where I wanted to go in life, right? What I wanted to do, what I didn't like is more important. And
yeah, even though you're not realizing it at the time, it's happening.
At the time, right? It's in hindsight that you. So yeah, in hindsight, I can say, yeah, I know what a musical, what a play. I've been to these things, all except for a proper opera. I have not been to a proper opera. which as when you're part Italian and you can say that, that's not a, that's a terrible thing.
The closest opera I ever saw was the one with Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, but
What's up,
Brilliant.
Yep.
But I have seen like the things that I can remember. My mom will probably be putting all kinds of stuff in the chat, but I can remember seeing Beatlemania. Beatlemania was a big deal back in the day, and I did see that. And I think we saw that in Hollywood. Like I say, the original Annie stands out. The LA. What do they call it? The LA Philharmonic or something like that? They called it the symphony.
Philharmonica, yeah.
I've seen some pretty big acts. You know what I'm saying? As far as that goes, boy, to see all those big band greats like Bum did would have even been a treat to me as a kid, because I did appreciate musical history even as a kid. That would have been something I liked, because I've always liked big band music. I've always liked it.
If I could turn back time, I would love to go back and watch Buddy Rich play drums. Not just on YouTube, but literally in person. I would love to see him play drums, because he played a certain way, and there's a reason for it, and he explained everything. It's like, well, he didn't do the match grip. He held the sticks a different way because you're more versatile in the way you play.
Yeah. My best friend saw him play and met him and went backstage at his trailer and went back into his trailer and met him and shook hands with him and chatted with him.
Wow. Well, have I ever showed you the picture of me and Little Richard? But that was the coolest thing that I ever.
No, you haven't.
Nope.
That was the coolest thing I've ever done in I don't know about in my entire life, but one of the coolest things I've ever done was my uncle introducing me to Little Richard, and then later on getting to have dinner with him, and everything was absolutely incredibly memorable. I mean, it was never, ever, ever forget it. Meeting all the Beach Boys was incredibly memorable. I've shook hands. I'm not necessarily a Beach Boy fan. You know what I'm saying? And this was in the mid-late 90s. So it wasn't like
okay, so you might have gotten maybe you got Mike Love and Bruce Johnston and Al Jardine, and that was probably it.
I couldn't give you names of them or anything, but it was more of just an appreciation. I mean, I know who they are, sort of thing. I'm not a huge fan, other than, wow, hey man, you guys have been around my whole life. My mom's a huge fan, sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? And I remember meeting them and shaking hands with literally all of them. They were sitting at a big round table having breakfast, and their driver asked me if I wanted to meet them all, and I was like, well, hell yeah! You know what I'm saying? And so, literally every single one of them. How you doing, man?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. While they're having flipping breakfast, bro. It was, I don't know. It was just kind of cool. Even though I'm not a huge fan, you're like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like one of those deals. So I remember calling my mom right after, and my mom was just like, oh my God, because she's the huge fan, I've done some pretty cool things like that, but Little Richard was absolutely, I still have that picture I still have it. I've always had that picture next to my bed. Believe it or not, I have the in a drawer in my little nightstand. Even to this day, that's where it's at right now. It's I guess that could go a lot of different ways, right? Depending on who's. But
I'm not saying anything.
To give you a reference on how I was able to meet him, my uncle's a preacher. He was a minister, and back in the 80s, he was a lot. His ministry was bigger than it is now, and he's always known a ton of people. And in the early 80s, if you remember, the very, very early 80s, Little Richard was trying to catch religion. He was trying to be a minister, if you remember.
That was his third attempt since the 1950s to become religious. That was like his third out of his 10th attempt.
Right. And that's the opportunity that I had to meet him.
Yeah.
that's the opportunity I had to meet him, and I did, and he was really nice. And he didn't look. When I tell people it's Little Richard, they don't believe it even. He wasn't calling himself Little Richard. It was, what was his name?
Richard Penniman.
Yeah, that's it. He was going by, and if you're a true fan, then you kind of know what you look at his face and you know it. But he just had at the time
no makeup, no pompadour.
No pomp. No, he had the what do you call it? I want to say afro, but it was the Jerry curl. He had the big Jerry curl afro, and he had a suit on and everything, and he was very, very nice. And my uncle got him to sing a little bit of something. I mean, just for us right there, just a couple of notes of something, you know what I'm saying? But that was about it. He really didn't want to do any of that sort of thing. He was trying to stay in the good book, you know what I'm saying? And but yeah, that was my memory. Him, and at being a huge Rams fan at the time, Wendell Tyler was the running back for the Rams, and he was also someone that I got to have shake hands with and have dinner with. So that was pretty cool, man, for me as a kid. I don't know, I was probably 12 or 13 or something like that, but it was pretty cool.
You met a lot of famous people, huh?
Yeah. If you just kind of grouped it all together, yeah, I've had a chance to meet a lot of cool people. I've met and again, I wasn't a huge fan, so I don't necessarily but I've met some of the Rolling Stones from back in the day. I've met and like I said, it kind of all comes back to as a kid, my religious base. I grew up around a lot of bands and stuff like that. My uncle's ministry was really heavily based on, my uncle had a huge what he called a rock and roll ministry, is what he called it back then. And so I because of my uncle, I got to meet a lot of these people. He wanted to kind of grow his band at the time. And if you remember, like, there was a big thing in the early 80s with Christian rock and roll. If you remember Christian metal, you know what I'm saying? It was, Stryker and Petra.
Petra.
Friend of mine listens to those bands.
But back then it was really big, and they were really trying to be just as fierce and hard and heavy as the regular metal bands. And man, my uncle had one of the most fantastic metal bands in LA at the time, and so that gave us the opportunity to meet some of these people. It was pretty cool. Specifically because of his guitarist, man. My uncle's guitarist was insane. His guitarist was out of this world, man. He was so good.
There's two acts I'd love to have gone and seen if I could turn back time. One was Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And the other one was actually, they passed recently, David Bowie.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. I'd love to have seen those, especially Freddie Mercury.
Wow. Yeah, I Queen was here numerous times, and at the time I just wasn't into them. And by the time I got into them, their records had stopped selling. From the mid to late 80s, they were still big in the UK. But their record really stopped selling in the United States, and they stopped touring after '86, I think. So,
well, I mean, Live Aid actually relaunched the whole band.
It relaunched them as a famous band, but they only toured one more year, I believe. '86, I think, was the year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and they went back to Wembley, the old Wembley.
Right, and I think that's out on DVD now, I believe.
Yeah, and I think they toured Australia. And I think America as well that year.
Hey, Bum, my mom pointed out Andre Crouch. Do you remember Andre?
Oh, yeah, sure. The gospel guy. Didn't he just die?
He might have. I don't know.
I think
don't know.
Andre Crouch just died. I think.
But part of my thing when I was that young, from about 10, I would think 9 or 10, my uncle had me setting up a lot of equipment. So it's kind of funny that I don't know how to run this little mixer board now, because when I was a kid, that was kind of my job, was to do that sort of thing. So I would set up the speakers, I would set up a lot of the PA equipment for the band. You know what I'm saying? And I've had the privilege of, meeting Andre Crouch to the point where he wouldn't necessarily remember my name, but he'd remember my face. You know what I'm saying? And
wow,
I'd set up, his equipment he's one of the many people I had the privilege of.
He died in early 2015. I thought he died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, huge gospel singer.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, it's I have grown up. Like I tell you, if I started naming off all the instruments I've played, and like I said, not well, you'd be amazed, man. It's a grocery list of.
It's gross.
Instruments, the piano, the organ, the guitar, the bass, the drums, many different drums, not just regular drums, not just the guitar, many different guitars. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty, because cool. I was around all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, let me try it. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was pretty interesting, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of all of that leads to what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I've been around, this. I feel like I've been around this my whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that, to me, that kind of leads to doing this sort of show and doing beer reviews and all that sort of thing. I feel like I've been around it my whole life.
Hey, Joe, speaking of the Beach Boys, believe it or not, basketball player Kevin Love is, I think, Mike Love's nephew.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Stan Love is his brother.
Okay.
Is that Kevin Love's father?
Yep.
Yeah, Stan Love is Mike Love's brother. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think it might have been. I'm trying to think of the year even. I think it might have been sometime mid 95, and it was in Detroit. They were at I don't know if it was the Doubletree Suites Hotel or Embassy Suites Hotel in downtown Detroit. And I happened to take a load of furniture for the hotel. And I woke up next when the hotel told me, hey, why don't you sleep right here? You know what I'm saying? So I slept right there in the parking lot. They were going to wake me up and then unload me into another trailer. So I was backed up to another trailer. When I woke up, there was a couple of, those big fancy coaches next to me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the hell? You're kind of used to seeing them when you're a truck driver. You see them all the time, right? But there was two of them next to me, and it was when I got out, the driver was kind of polishing things up on the one of them, and he says, yeah, blah blah blah, and what are you doing here? So I told him, and then so who you guys have in the bus, and he says, oh, the Beach Boys. I'm like, the Beach Boys? Are you freaking serious? And he's like, yeah. You want to meet them? They're having breakfast. And I'm like, well, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how I got to meet him, man. Yep. A lot of cool things have happened.
I mean, even if you're not into certain superstars' music, if you get a chance to meet them, it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of right.
I mean, the Beach Boys are like not my thing, but
right, exactly. Yeah, but I can respect some of their music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, where they are in the world and shit, and it's like,
it's
wow.
If I had a chance to, and I did, I had a chance to meet them. I was like, hell yeah, they're one of my mom's favorites. So, I remember calling her after, and she was just so excited. You know what I'm saying? One of those deals. So it's pretty cool. Anybody else having another beer now?
Yeah, I've just opened a beer from Holland. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh yeah, those beers are.
I can't do it. I'll put the link in the sidebar. It's easier.
Don't do it, Craig, because you'll break your tongue. I swear to God.
That's an area beer to talk about.
Yeah, you'll break your tongue, man. Don't even try it, man. You know.
Yeah. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah, it's just You know?
What is everyone drinking?
Well, I'm not having another beer right now, but that doesn't mean I couldn't. I will have to go fish for something.
I have no beers at home. I'm broke right now.
Oh. No, like you don't even have like beer that you've had, and you're just drinking that.
No, literally my last 2 beers I had were on the last share beer, and the bottles are still sitting here by the desk.
Brilliant. I love that.
That's how broke I am.
Oh
But
man, yeah. It's
my insurance carrier for my life insurance screwed up when they tried taking the auto pay for my life insurance. They added another 0 at the end of my bank account, so my bank account was null and void.
Oh.
I get a hate mail letter in the mail a couple days ago, so I call my local agent. Is like, what's going on with this? And one of the guys says, yeah, let me get back to you on that. And he was talking to headquarters down in Illinois. And he was like, oh, they screwed up, but they don't want to admit it, but they added another 0 at the end of your bank account. And so I basically got to shell out for 2 months of payments in the next couple weeks.
Oh.
So I'm gonna be short funds for it.
Yeah, that's not good.
Nope, that sucks.
That does. That's
So no
Been
one
there,
can
done that.
It's you know, that's one of the reasons why I hate auto draft. Like I would rather send you out of my bill payer than for you to try to take it out of I don't like that at all. I protest it anytime that they try to do that, because they will screw up. It's why I haven't joined the couple of gyms that are in my area, because they want to auto draft it out of my account. And I'm like, no, you can do it out of a credit card because I got more protection. But if you try to do it out of my account, and like just like what happened to Andrew, you add another 0 to it and empty my account, you know what I'm saying? It takes me a long time to get that money back, you know? I don't like to do it. Sometimes you can't avoid it because you've got particular things that you have to have in your life that and they do require that. But here's this beer that Craig is trying to have.
I'm drinking it. I'm definitely having it, but
he's having it, yeah. But trying to say it without breaking your tongue is going to be
pointless.
It looks like Vuig Tuig or something.
That's probably the best shot at it.
But I'm not gonna dare try and say the Hollandaise version of it below.
Yes.
It's the brewery that I was going to review it, and I've like, no, I'm not. I can't do it.
Actually, Andrew's probably got one of the best shots at saying it, because that your whole area of our country is from that region, no?
Well, up here in Minnesota, in St. Paul, as the core, when St. Paul was in Minneapolis, you had Norwegians, you had Swedes, Germans, you had Poles up here,
right?
Czechs,
right?
I mean, pretty much you name the flavor in Europe, they're in Minnesota.
Yeah, these are from the Netherlands.
Well, this one is an IPA. 100. Let me see. We have 1,600 ratings on here. 1,100 in the last 30 days. 6.5% ABV. No IBUs rated, and a 3.65 rating, bottle cap rating. So that must be pretty much a decent IPA, but not necessarily right home to mama about, but pretty good.
Sessionable.
Yeah, sessionable. There you go. Good.
It's Amsterdam they're out of, so yeah. Go there one day.
Is that hoppy or is it malt forward or what is it?
It's more of a.
I would imagine more malty.
Yeah, there's a lot more malt. It's nothing like the New England style. I mean, it's slightly hazy, but it's it's kind of like in between, if that makes sense. It's not like a true West Coast or anything like that, but
So it's just a decent session beer.
It's decent. There's a nice bit of kind of earthy pininess going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like slightly dank. It's got a lot of lingering kind of, that sometimes you get in that beer, it just lingers on the palate. It's okay, not too bad.
Sounds like a good session beer.
Yeah, just a good solid session beer. 6.5. It's not gonna knock you off your short. You could have a 6-pack and
well, not now, but that would
or as we like to call it here in the States, we call it a lawnmower beer. You can have a 6-pack after mowing the lawn.
After mowing the lawn or after work. It's a good
during mowing the lawn.
That too.
Yeah.
One-handed.
One-handed.
Yeah,
looks like it's lacing the glass pretty good. That's a good
it
thing.
really is. It really is. It's
they usually say if the head laces the glass like that, you got some good flavor in it.
It's all right. It's not too bad at all. It's I mean, I don't know if there's an IBU listed on it.
I didn't.
No, it's not.
There, so.
I mean, it's fairly bitter. It's got that kind of slight raspiness going on with that kind of side of things, but it's not overly. I mean, I've had much bitter IPAs. Well, it's only a single.
Is
IPA,
that just a single, or do you have more of them?
I've only got this one beer. It's from a monthly subscription box that I get over here in the UK. So, which is cool because these beers aren't available in the UK. So you get to try different things.
Hey, I'm gonna change the tone again a little bit. A lot. I just was recommended a movie. I'm not a huge movie person anymore. I'm more of a series person. I kind of like to get into something, now. So if I can, I try to find a decent series to watch. But I was recommended this movie, so I watched it. It's called I, Tonya. Has anybody been watching any decent movie? And the reason why, I'll tell you why. A few weeks back, I might or might not have said it, but I got me a new television, and it's one of those ultra 4K deals, right? And it's decent size and everything. So I've been wanting to get content for this thing, right? What I want to see some 4K stuff now, right? So, I got me an Xbox, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a 4K device. And so I've been enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun watching stuff on there I don't even like. Just because it's 4K. I want to see it clear and all this detail and all this stuff. It's actually pretty darn nice. And a lot of the sound that comes out of it is pretty nice. So this movie, I, Tonya, was in what they call ultra 4K. So I watched it. It was okay, but out of 5 stars, I might give it, 3. But to me, it was in 4K. So I watched it. You know what I'm saying? It was another one of those deals. Is anybody watching any movies, and are you watching them for the same reason I am, because you have a 4K TV and they're an ultra 4K?
No, I just can't. I just can't be bothered, to be honest. I'd rather watch things that I really do enjoy watching, like a lot of my friends on YouTube, and then my own kind of personal interests and stuff, a bit of history. But then you can watch that anytime. Right. You can I'll press record and then I can just watch it when I'm in the mood to watch TV. I'm an oddball with TV, so I'm oddball anyway. But
I don't.
You're not more oddball than me, Craig.
Right.
Yeah.
What about anybody else? Oddballs. Yeah, that's why we're here. You know what I'm saying? We're all a little goofy, if you will.
Yeah. No, I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. Right. This is.
I think if you're not, then I think that's a bit weird. That's
right.
Just means we specialize in something.
There you go.
Good.
There
Indeed.
you go. We're more specialized. That's right.
Indeed.
That's right.
I'm very special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all very special.
What you put on your resume, right? Very special.
I heard that,
Yep.
Chairman. I heard that.
So what is there anybody else that's you know, now one reason I don't really care for movies anymore is because it seems like I get like 10, 15, 20 minutes into the damn thing and I'm like, this sucks. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, versus a series, I don't know, you kind of know right away. Like even from the opening credits, you're like, oh, this series sucks. I'm moving on. Right? I don't know. TV series seem to like let you know right away. I don't even like to call them TV series anymore because most of them I watch
Reality TV.
No, I don't like calling them reality TV. I just like to call them series because they're not necessarily on TV anymore, are they? I mean, I don't have TV. I don't have traditional TV. I stream everything I watch. I download
If
everything.
something's on Netflix, it's not necessarily on TV. It's
right.
It's something that was scripted, acted, recorded, / filmed, and sent out there on the platform of your choice. And sometimes it is TV, sometimes it's not.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? Even that stuff, Joe, and I know I'm missing out on a lot of great stuff. I don't know, like 30 years ago, I got away from reading fiction and I just preferred to read nonfiction. I've gotten that way with television too. I just have gotten away from scripted stuff. I love the old stuff. I love old sitcoms, dramas and stuff. And I know there's a lot of great stuff out there that I'm missing out on, but nowadays I would just prefer with new stuff to watch documentaries and nonfiction stuff. To me, truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah, documentaries. I love documentaries.
I love documentaries and historic stuff. Love that stuff.
One series that I just, you know, it's kind of funny to me because Amazon, I haven't really cared for Amazon. I love Amazon. Don't get me wrong. Amazon, I am on Amazon like it's a social network. Trust me. To me, that is my Facebook. I could scroll Amazon, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Just not their content that they, their original content they produce.
Their video content though has been pretty, compared to all the rest, it's been one of the lower ones. But they have been coming out with some that are pretty good. And Amazon, Amazon has a lot of ultra 4K content that's included with their service. One of the series is called Sneaky Pete that I just finished watching. Right? Yeah, it's kind of the name alone turned me off for quite some time, and then I kind of ran out of series, so I've been kind of giving some of them at least a try. And I was like, okay, this looks like a decent watch. And then I found myself getting into it. And I did. I got into Sneaky Pete. I forget the main actor's name. Yeah. Now, I'm going to show you, too, because it's kind of it's kind of interesting, but it was in ultra 4K. So to me, that makes it worth watching. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in this UHD is what they call it. And man, I'll tell you what, it makes a difference. You're like, wow, look at that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how good your 4K TV is, but yeah. Oh, we've got on the 10th Nature Shows. He says 4K porn. He says. Hey, boom! It elevates your.
You got VR porn, right?
Yeah, you got to elevate your porn game, man, to 4K. You know?
Wow. Well,
if you're watching porn in standard high def, you're missing out, my friend.
I'm still working up to 4K.
Yeah.
Haven't made that level yet.
Yeah, you got to work your way up to it, though. Yeah, don't just all of a sudden get a 4K TV and then start watching 4K porn. You'll blow your mind. You know what I'm saying? And other things.
To coin a phrase.
Yeah,
wide angle.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
Wide
But
angle.
yeah, he also says nature shows on 4K. Like you end up watching the stupidest stuff just because it's 4K. I swear to God, because you're like
Wow.
you're wanting to see all that detail, right?
You want to see want to see the detail.
Yeah, you want. So
indeed.
indeed, right? Yes. So it is kind of funny, you know. But yeah, let me show you this. I just watched this one, and you know, and it was okay. I found it kind of interesting, and I don't know what Giovanni Rabisi or something. I can't. I mean, I'm awful with some of these people's names, but it was okay.
Beer tubes in 4K. Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
don't watch me in 4K, Jesus. I'm bad enough on.
He
a
was
burst
good
screen.
and gone in 60 seconds.
Was that what he was in? I was trying to the whole time I'm watching. I'm trying to remember what he was in.
The one with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, right. We're still talking about porn now.
But no, I've moved away from porn.
Sorry.
But but that one was okay. And what else did I watch on there that was decent? They have very few on there. Right now I think I'm watching one that's called Electric Dreams. And
that sounds very 80s.
It's kind of like a oh man, what's that old sci-fi show where you had like every episode was a different
Twilight Zone.
It's kind of Twilight Zone-ish. So every episode is different, but they're all based on the same futuristic sort of idea. You know, just one person's thought on what the future might be like. So from that aspect, it's okay. I'm not necessarily a big sci-fi guy, but again, it's in 4K, makes it a little more interesting. So it's, you know, it's okay. Yeah, this is the. I'll show you that. I'll show you that one on. One of the things, though, if you do get a 4K TV, I wish that I had got. See, here's that Electric Dreams. And it's been interesting. I can say that. Yeah, I'm down to right here. I watched the first 2 episodes, and the autofact episode reminds me of what, like, you could just erase from the U all the way and put in Amazon instead, and what they might think, how they think Amazon might take over the world here in the future. It's a little creepy. You know, some of these sorts of shows are kind of a little creepy. One thing that I ran into, though, that I didn't anticipate was Netflix. When I signed into Netflix and Netflix detected that I was on a 4K device, if you want to view Netflix in 4K, you up your subscription price. So my subscription went up to, I think, $13.99 now.
Oh, so they troll you then? Wow.
Yeah, so that if they sense that you have to select that it's okay. They're not forcing you into it, but they do give you the option. And of course, if you have a 4K device, you're like, well, yeah, I want to watch it. And, you're not going to say no. Well, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? And it's literally just a couple of bucks more. But yeah, Netflix found a way to get a couple of bucks more out of you, right? So if you do upgrade, be ready for that. Some of the reviews on 4K streaming devices, and just from my opinion on it, is
your professional opinion.
Right, my professional opinion, whatever that's worth to you. Just from my small 3-week sample size on streaming devices and content, I have a Vizio TV. It's supposed to be a decently rated Vizio TV, right? And it streams okay. Right now, from what I'm hearing, the Apple TV is one of the better streaming devices to me. The colors do look better from the Xbox than they do anything else. But my Apple TV isn't the 4K Apple TV. I still have the 1080p Apple TV. So, but so I'm like debating whether to get the 4K Apple TV. But so that's another thing. But yeah, so now I have a 4K, and they have a section in here for their 4K. It might not pop up here on the computer.
You think that'd be one of the first ones?
I don't watch enough TV to get a 4K TV. It's not worth it for me.
Well, yeah, I don't. But on the weekends, I'm a homebody. See, you have to remember that. I don't really like going to many places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I like to save money, and then I like to save money for things that I really like to do.
That's fair, dude.
And then when I do go somewhere, I like to really do it, right? I like to have fun, take a trip and do that. But series like Ozark are in Ultra 4K, and The Mist is in Ultra 4K. So when on the weekend is when I have a chance to catch up on my TV, because I'll be home and I'm gonna watch some stuff, and so I'll get into a series. You know what I'm saying? That's an example of.
On the Temps posted quite a few comments. One or two are quite amusing, but yeah. BeerTube is in 4K that made me laugh. Like more.
I have watched if I watch YouTube, it's on the TV. So, yeah, I do watch you on there. By the way, at the top of the chat, for anybody that wants to, I'm not, like I said, I don't, just like we were saying, if I don't have time to watch TV, I don't really necessarily have a lot of time to game either. But I have been playing like some solitaire, and I've been trying to I love shooters. I've been trying to get back into shooters, but I suck. Yeah. So, but my name is Javin. I put my gamer tag at the top of the chat.
So there's a few. I mean, on the 10th, he plays quite a lot of live streaming, and there's a few others that. And it's great they stream onto YouTube live. It's really cool.
Yeah. I've been having a lot of fun watching YouTube on the TV. To me it's just a lot easier, a lot funner. So what do you have in there, Earth?
This is an oatmeal stout from Fremont. It's called Dark Star.
Dark Star. Oh wait, we've. All right, okay.
So is it all one word? All one word, or
Fremont Brewing Dark Star's the beer.
Right, look at that can. That's a nice. I like that can.
Yeah, that is cool.
Flashy.
What do you think of it?
It's pretty decent. It's not mind blowing, but it's 8%, and it's got more dark fruits in it than like your standard chocolates and coffees and stuff. Yeah. A lot of the dark fruits kind of come out. There's a black licorice note in it.
Is it kind of Belgian quaddy a little bit with the cherries and stuff?
Not really, but like the dark fruit kind of comes out, and it's kind of like that.
Yeah, now this is hilarious because now just like we make fun of Tom, Earth is the left coast version of Tom, and get an example of this right now. 17,000 ratings on here. You got 759 in the last 30 days. 8% ABV, 50 IBUs. This beer is an even 4 rating, and it's all right.
Boom. As I say, boom.
it's just okay, you know.
Stone the crows.
I'm spoiled. What can I say?
Stone the crows. Wow.
Boom.
Wow. That's something you do not hear in America. Stone the crows.
Yeah, that is a wow reference right there.
Well,
Yeah,
the reason why I say that is I'm not really a big fan of the like the black licorice flavor.
Yeah.
So that kind of takes it down for me. That's
Yeah.
not kind of like my favorite note. So
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm not.
I like the real dark roast and.
Yeah.
I'm the same way with the tobacco. I don't like that.
So you're
tobacco.
getting a lot of that anise sort of flavor.
Yeah,
is that-
for me that kind of shines through, and it kind of annoys me a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a damn good beer. I'm really not a fan of the anise note.
Yeah, that's kind of a shame because I'm not a, and it's funny too because with biscochitos are a big thing like in New Mexico. I see them here a little bit, but that anise, if people put too much anise in there, I'm like, I'm not a big black licorice person either. So yeah, if I get a beer or anything,
Just kind of sets it back just a little bit. I mean, it's a damn good beer. Otherwise, I mean, it's got roast and some chocolate notes and stuff, but that kind of comes to the fore with me, and that's not really my thing. So
hey Bum, what is your sort of flavor that you're not a huge fan of, and when you get it, it's kind of like, it would be good if it didn't have that.
Oh boy, that's a toughie. That's a tough one. Let me think on that.
Yeah, on the 10th says black licorice. Yeah, it's just not.
I can tell you one. Some beers I usually don't like have that tobacco taste.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Like that rough tobacco.
Oh, really?
I get like a fag or
so you don't
a cigarette ashtray.
No, I think you're talking more of that like leafy, like a cigar tobacco sort of,
yeah,
or
correct.
or pipe tobacco sort of flavor.
Just
almost like a leathery sort of flavor, no?
Like ashy kind of. I don't know. It's difficult to because everyone's palate's different, picks up different things, but
right.
But it's definitely a leathery kind of, almost like a burnt kind of like meat. Sometimes charcoal. I don't know.
I actually like that when it's
yeah,
like
me,
that.
yeah, no,
That's
see,
me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm more of that sort of pellet, right?
Yeah. More like a burnt brisket kind of meat.
Super
like
smoke, lots of dark, heavy
yeah.
roast. I like that.
I like it. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had those conversations about the smoke because I feel like smoke is now you can't just say smoke, right? You've got to say like
smoke, baby.
All right.
Wrong kind of smoke.
Yeah. You've got to say like, what is it? More of a woody kind of campfire smokiness, or is it or more of a meaty, smoky sort of? Because you got to get a little more defined because smoke is just too. Yeah, well,
bring the smoke, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, you almost got to go low with that. Yeah,
I'm the king of smoke, and there can't deny.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can't deny that. What about you, Andrew? Is there a flavor in any sort of beers or even food that you don't necessarily?
No, not really. I'm not particular about anything as far as beer is concerned, but I really haven't had every flavor under the sun like some people that are doing beer review shows and like yourself, Joe, or even Ruben for that matter.
Yeah.
I haven't really had any ciders as far as that goes, or even any meads.
Yeah, the meads are, man, that's a different ball game, right? Because the meads are sweet, and they're kind of berry based, right? So,
I mean, honey based, right?
Honey based, yeah. So, but But that licorice though is a specific. That black licorice is
Aniseed, yeah.
Black licorice is not my thing, though.
Yeah, you either like it or you don't. I don't know that there's any sort of.
I love it.
I think when it comes to flavors like that people are really like you're gonna hit or miss with people. I think they should just go easy on them. You know,
it's like a Vegemite. It's even like it.
I think I could tolerate black licorice in a beer if it was like part of the nodes, like that Edmund Fitzgerald porter where you got like that little hint of coffee with a little bit of caramel in there, and that's like a nice balance. But if it's like licorice forward, I'd be like, no way. I wouldn't even spend it.
We've had these conversations so many times too, and we've talked about it with stuff that we actually do like bourbon. I like bourbon, but if I'm going for bourbon, I don't mind bourbon. I don't mind the oak. I don't mind the vanilla, the this, the that. But if I'm having a beer and it's barrel aged, we've talked about it. Like, just kind of tone it down. Like, I want to taste the beer, not the bourbon. I mean, let's try to. We titled the show, I think, this way. I want the wood.
Wood.
Yep.
Well, who doesn't?
Oh, good one, Kent. Good one. Slam the door.
Yeah,
Bang. Boom.
It's
I know what you're saying though.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. We've got on the 10th says sometimes too much pine in IPAs is a turnoff for him. Yeah, I can see that.
I get that as well.
I can see that. Well, I think just kind of in general, and I don't know if it's all of us have talked about it, but I know I've talked about it. It's kind of like we're getting a little tired of just, okay, there's a lot of pine in this, and there's, I'm puckering for Christ's sake. You know what I'm saying? You've got so many, it's so bitter.
Yeah, I think it depends sometimes if you're drinking a lot of the New England style beers that are like just juice bombs, and sometimes it's quite refreshing, I think, to go back to the West Coast style, the dank, piney, earthy, but still with that kind of resiny kind of beers. And I think sometimes
it's nice that there's both sides now, though.
Yeah,
you've got a choice now, and when you get a trend, you just keep following it. There's another one. There's this, there's that. It's just nice to go back, and I think sometimes you appreciate it more if you've not had one for a while.
I actually think that, as much as I love stouts and as much as I love porters and all those big beers like that, I do have to say, even myself, I might only drink 2 or 3, and then I'm moving on to something else. And it's the same thing with those big IPAs, whatever way they might be. I find myself drinking, 1 or 2 or maybe even a third. And then I'm going to move on to the beer that I'm going to drink a whole, 6-pack of or something, just something that's more sessionable, something that I just don't have to think about anymore. My first, kind of like an opening act, if you will, my first 2 or 3 beers might be something a little kind of exotic or crazy, if you will. And then after that, I'm going to have something more sessionable, something that's just, okay, all right, I'm easing into this. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? Is that, it's kind of one of the reasons why, even though this is an 8% beer, this beer blows my mind a little bit because 8.2% actually. This Space Dust drinks more like it's just a session beer,
That's a solid brew. That's a very solid brew.
It is, and I completely forget that thing is that much ABV because it does drink like a session.
It does drink. It's kind of why I'm enjoying the hell out of it, because it just it's that nice little mix. They've hidden the alcohol. You get just enough of a hoppiness out of it. It's that good in between beer. I don't have to think about it too much. It's got just enough flavor. I'm getting just enough out of it. What do you say, Bum? Do you ever get any sort of comments like that out of how far into a description of malt liquor do they go into their,
Great question.
you know?
Yeah, here's as deep as it goes with any of these guys. And it doesn't matter who it's from, who makes it, or how old it is. Here's what you get. It's delicious and fucking refreshing. Now,
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Now, to be honest with you, after watching all these guys drink all these different brands, I can honestly say, and I don't know from experience myself, I will say that the one that apparently seems to be the one that they like the best, that seems to be the, well, I don't want to say best tasting, but the least nasty is Mickey's. Mickey seems to be the one that they like the most, that's like the smoothest of them all. Then possibly Hurricane. And then from there, you get down into Old English and some of the other ones, and, you know, Schlitz. And just this past week, I was watching some videos, and it almost made me want to go out and buy one just out of sheer masochism. The bottom end of these things. And Andrew, I think this comes from Minnesota. It's a brewery in Minnesota. Axehead malt liquor.
Never heard of it.
I certainly never heard of it. Wow.
I forget the brewery that makes it, but it's called Axehead, and it's like it's 11% and it's pure garbage.
You lost me at malt liquor.
Right? Yeah, you lost exactly.
Go see if you can find it.
Yeah.
See if there's anything on Untapped.
No, trust me, I do not want to. I don't want that in my Untapped history.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll use the Google.
I wouldn't check it in either.
Yeah, I do not want it in my Untapped history.
I'll look for it on the Google.
Yeah.
I'll
take
take
one
in
of
my Untapped history.
I'll take one less badge for that. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm completely good. Yeah, trust me.
I was watching this past week 209 J Jones, who is a seasoned malt liquor drinker and can chug 40s. He did a video with an Axehead, and he goes, "I've had this for months, but to tell you the honest to God's truth, I've been scared to make this video because this beer scares the hell out of me." He did drink it, but you could tell he was in distress.
Well,
oh, and let me see. We've got Basement Beer says Mickey's and Old English are just about all you can find in Canada. Mickey's is good and OE is crap.
And also get Molson Ice, right?
He also says we have a Trailer Park Boys malt liquor and it's garbage as well.
Right.
So
they made one.
He's drinking IPA.
Like I said before,
5.
I don't even know. The last thing I drank was St. Ides.
Yeah, he's drinking IPA.
I'd have to revisit.
Yeah, number 5 from I think it's Collective Arts. They're out of Canada somewhere.
Yeah, they're in Canada as well.
Yeah, they're a big brewery,
This Axehead Brewing is brewed across the St. Croix River in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's good. That's good there for you, Andrew. Kick them out the hell out of Minnesota, man. You don't want them.
They're east of the St. Croix, so I'm safe.
Yeah, you don't want anything like that and any sort of reputation like that in Minnesota.
But vintage wise, though, the brewery itself is older than Schlitz malt liquor or anything else those guys are drinking on the MLDC.
But does it have 100-year-old award?
This brewery got started in 1845.
And it doesn't have an award from 1845.
It's been the worst brewery.
I'm just reading the history on the brewery itself. I'm not reading anything about the beer.
I swear to God, I love that Pabst puts that on their label. That they won an award 100 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's just fantastic.
That's ballsy, right? That's
ballsy. And their American pale ale is better, and they've got no awards. That's good.
Yeah, and it's got no awards. What does
That's
that
shocking.
say? What does that say about it? You know,
Wow.
it's like, come on, you know.
They don't like recent awards.
Now, one of the last things I'd like to mention on here before we get out, we'll get out on this one, but just now that we have the Olympics behind us, and
Yeah.
we
No more
we
curling.
we can talk about what you watched, what you liked about the Olympics, what you didn't like, if you even bothered to watch any of it. Anybody want to chime in? I won't go person by person. If anybody wants to chime in, they can chime in.
I didn't watch them at all.
Yeah.
I
I watched the
loved
opening act, but that was about it.
The closing ceremony was really good.
Yeah, I told you guys I happened to be at a bar and I watched, just lifting my eyeballs up, they happen to have curling on, and that's the most I watched of any of the Olympics. But you guys know that one of my favorite Winter Olympic events is curling. I do love curling. I think it should be in every bar everywhere ever. And I think
Rod J likes curling, that's for sure.
yeah, he does too. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
12-ounce curls.
Yeah,
Curling is a hangout topic.
Yeah, curling I think is cool, man. But does anybody know how much that curling stone weighs?
I think it's about 70 pounds.
It's like 41 or 2 pounds.
Yeah.
I'd say around 100 pounds.
Yeah, the Earth is close. It's 43 pounds.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, really? I didn't realize. All right.
That thing's heavier than I thought, too. Yeah, I heard that, and I was like, wow, really? You know what I'm saying?
43
granite, right?
Which translates to, about $27 US? No.
What's that in stone? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's like, what, 2 stone or something? What is that?
Well, a stone's 14 pounds, so there you go.
All right.
Yeah, and that's why I love
3.5 stone or something.
Yeah, I love stone. I say I'm how big I am in stone, and I just like, see, I got a long way to go. I love stone. Yeah. Stone is like, that's the ultimate. And
Stone the Crows.
Yeah, we need Stone the Crows. There you go. And we need to start over here in America getting rid of the calories, and we need to turn those into energy. If something has 200 calories, that needs to be positive. It's a more
positive energy.
It sounds positive, doesn't it? It's just like this has 200 energy. And that sounds way better.
And talking of positive energy, I'd just like to say, luck, Zach.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? In all seriousness, he was making light of it, but that ain't something.
That's serious. That's serious shit.
I just drank a bunch of energy. I just don't know how much.
That's right.
I don't like hearing that.
No, that is not that, because I literally was planning, and I was thinking about planning another trip to Denver, and I hate to go out there, and then you have our friend in some horrible health. It's not. Man, your heart is just nothing to play around with, and oxygen is directly related to your heart. It really is. If your oxygen level is low because you're not breathing enough and you're not sleeping enough, man, that makes your heart struggle and your heart will fail. It is.
It'll be all right. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we hope so. We hope he gets a good result from the doctors, because that will literally alter your life. Because once the doctor starts telling you have heart failure, your choices are listen to what and do, not just listen, but do what the doctor tells you, or you die. Those are your options.
That's why I told Zach I've been diagnosed with sleep apnea for years, and I went to my doctor one time on. They had a bad head cold, and it turned out to be a virus. And he asked me if there's anything else bothered me. I was like, driving for about 20 minutes between job 1 and job 2, and I'm falling asleep behind the wheel doing 60 miles an hour down the highway in a 4,000-pound vehicle. not healthy.
Yeah.
And he said, well, and I made the question, it's like, is it a possibility I have sleep apnea or something going on here? And he's like, well, would you like to go in for a sleep study? I'm like, sure. Let's get to the bottom of this. And sure enough, they hooked me up with the monitoring equipment. And back then, I think it was about 35 times, I think, an hour, I stopped breathing.
Holy moly, that's a lot.
Yep. And what that does is when you wake up in the morning, you don't feel rested. You just feel more tired and you just want to go back to sleep.
Yeah. It's just not good. Thank you to On 10th. He's signing off. Slug One says, Zach ever on here? Yeah, he was just on here earlier. Now the Zach from Australia hasn't been on in a little while. It's been
A couple
few
months
weeks.
anyway.
Is it a couple months?
It's been a couple months.
So yeah, that Zach hasn't been on in a while.
I know Ruben said he wants to try and get back on, but he's been doing a lot of traveling though too.
Yeah, but our friend Zach from Colorado, he was just on a few minutes. Well, no, it's been around an hour or so ago, but he was on earlier. He's the one we're talking about that is having some testing done, and we'll have to stay positive, and hopefully he'll give us a better report next week. Because that is just not good. We've had lots of friends or people that aren't so close to the show, but still in the beer community, even if it is malt liquor, I think we still call that beer. That have had these sorts of problems, haven't we, Bum?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, we're looking out for Mr. Rayner. He was wearing the heart monitor and chugging malt liquor as recently as a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we'll just keep these guys in our thoughts and our prayers, and hopefully we hear a good result from Zach next week. And I'm sure if anything, what's going to end up happening, even if it is towards the negative side, he'll have something he can do about it because he's getting to it soon enough. So I'm sure that there's something.
And he's got an advantage over most of us. He's young.
Yeah, he is very young. So
we're old farts.
Yeah.
How old is Zach anyway?
Oh, he's in his 20s.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's in it. That's what, to me, that's what makes it so. The bad thing though is that he is in a chair, and so he doesn't have the advantage of moving around like we do to help, exercise your heart as well. So
burn the energy.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was in the chair.
Yeah, so that makes it a lot more challenging, and it's sad to hear at his age that he's already having these problems, because that'll affect the rest of his age. There's a little hottie on that Dark Star stout there, man. I just have to say. So,
I was just gonna say I'm a young guy, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, well, me too. You know what I'm saying? I'm young.
At least in my eye.
Right, there you go. And I'm only looking at it through my eye. Damn it. Okay, guys, we'll see you, man. Thanks a lot for tuning in.
I got a couple things I'd like to show real quick.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm sorry, Andrew. Go ahead.
Let me see what do I got. Put on. Click on showcase in the left margin, I think. Yeah. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Tell us about that. Tell us about the train we're looking at. About the photo.
This is the train itself is the Burlington Routes, aka Zephyr. It's at Minneapolis, the Great Northern's Minneapolis Depot. This is back in the very early 1960s. My dad shot this with a wide format camera. The negative for this and the other one I'm going to show you is 4.5 inches by 5 inches.
Yeah, the one that would appreciate this the most isn't here as well.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
And
That's the one on your Google, isn't it? Didn't you post that on Google?
Yeah, I posted these on Google, and these were just those were just pictures I took off with the cell phone. This one here is another CB&Q train crossing the Great Northern Bridge in Minneapolis. The building in the back, Minneapolis Cold Storage, that is now all condos. And the Burlington Northern Santa Fe just replaced the Great Northern Bridge with a concrete deck.
Oh,
yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, those negatives Mom and I found.
That's pretty cool, man.
That's cool stuff.
And tell everybody about the process you went with those negatives.
The negatives, the guy I had developed the pictures. He said that the negatives, the film actually had dust on them from the factory. So before Dad even shot it, there was dust on it, and the guy cleaned up the negatives for me. These prints are $50 a copy the way they sit, and the negatives I'm looking at $40 a piece for those to get them cleaned up.
Do you still have the negative close by? Can you still show them?
Yeah.
That way everyone gets an idea what they actually look like.
Yep. These are some massive negatives.
Yeah, this is a regular negative that he's showing. It's pretty. This is Mark stuff. Mark gets into this heavy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the camera that Dad had at the time was what they called a Grayflex. It had the bellows and stuff on the front of it, and the negative that's got the depot shot, it had a light leak towards the bottom, and he was able to clean that up a little bit on a CD that he spun up for me. I actually got those on my Flickr page right now.
And I think the negatives that Mark gets out of his camera are like I don't know, 8x10 or something. They're huge.
Yeah.
It's like $5 a picture or something like that. It's like $5 or $6 or $7. It might even be higher than that. To each image, man. I don't know. When you shoot with film nowadays, it's just nuts.
Don't
you
let
know?
film rules.
Oh.
Yep.
But
this is the one thing that digital can't do: give you the negatives.
Yeah, well, you get it in a different form.
That's about it.
Yeah, the one thing that film has over digital is you don't get those blown out whites. You know those.
Yep.
You know, digital really can get blown out really bad, and with film you just don't get that. You get a lot of nice evenness with your highs. And with digital you don't, but there's arguments to be had with each one of them, but there's still that nice grain and that nice texture that film gives you that's very hard to mimic with digital. So it's still very, very much appreciated.
The one song I really appreciate that Paul Simon wrote, Kodachrome.
Yeah.
If you don't understand that song and you don't know what it's about, you don't even know photography.
Yeah.
I've got some of my dad's stuff that he shot on Kodachrome 64 back in the 1960s. It looks like it was shot yesterday.
That's pretty cool, man. Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Andrew. I appreciate it, man. And a lot of people are starting to shoot with film again, man. It's been something's coming back. I have a tremendous amount of film cameras. You would not believe how many film cameras I actually have. I have a ton of. I probably have at least a dozen different.
I like your Instagram photos. Some of them are damn good.
I still have my Pentax K1000 I bought in 1989.
Yeah.
And I just haven't used it in a while, and I got it loaded up with a roll of Ektachrome slide film.
Yeah, film for me is one of those things that I'm like, yeah, I would really love
Film.
Yeah, I'm like, but but I do jump in on Mark's show if anybody is interested in film photography or just photography in general. Mark does have his show on Sundays. So just Mark's Photography Spot. Look him up on YouTube. That's his channel, and he still does a show. It's just not beer related. It's photography.
Is
related.
What
Sunday, isn't it?
That's
Sunday.
7 p.m.
Let's see. Yeah, because is it 7 or 6?
7 p.m. Eastern? I'm not sure.
I think it's 6 because I think he starts it at 3 my time, if I'm not mistaken. Just go to Mark's Photography Spot, and that's his channel. So
yeah, I think it's about 3 my time.
Okay, so maybe it's 4 my time.
It's late
like
my
that,
time.
yeah.
Everything's late my time. So
But I don't think it's 7. I think it's 6 Eastern for some reason. But in any case, Mark's Photography Spot's where you'd find it, and that's his channel. And you can. He's up to like, I don't know, what was this one of his last shows? 250 some.
Wow.
He might be somewhere in that range. But yeah, we get on there and talk photography, and he has a Flickr channel, Mark's Photography Spot on Flickr.
I found you and him on the Flickr already.
Yeah. And that's I post on his channel and his on his Flickr and on his. You'll see more of my artistic work on Flickr, that's for sure. And Pat, a dear friend of this show, who is a professional photographer, does photography for a living on automotive. If you want to see Pat will never say it in a million years, but he is one of the best automotive photographers in this side of the country. That's for damn sure. Hands down, man. That dude is bomb. So if you want to see some of the rarest, most glamorous car photography, Pat does a fantastic job. He does. He's literally one of 2 photographers that I'm willing to hang a photo of in my house. I have all my photography hanging in my house other than Pat. Pat is very good. Very good. But with that said, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thanks for letting me join tonight.
Oh man, you're always welcome. And
I always like to say thanks anyway. Whatever
Oh, I appreciate it. Well, thank you, Craig. I just appreciate everybody jumping in. I really do.
Anybody want to hang out after this is offline?
I'm gonna jump off. So
Yeah.
I'm out of here. I'll get on the Xbox after this.
Game time.
I need to try what Tom was saying. Tom said I could use my regular earbuds actually for. I didn't realize that, so I'm gonna try that as soon as we get off of here. Actually, I'm gonna have a beer, and one of my little tricks that I like to do, because I don't like to leave the house too much. So I did leave the house this afternoon. Got a couple of pies, brought them home, and that's literally be what I eat, man. That'll be
pizzas, yeah, pies.
yeah. I got a couple of pizzas, and I don't mind eating cold pizza, but one of my latest little things is I have a nice toaster oven, and so I like to warm my toast, and it gives this really nice crust and everything. Toast up that cold pizza really nice. So that's what I do, and then I'll freeze some of the pizza. Then if I want a slice of pizza during the week, I can just take it out real easy and still have a nice, good,
pie.
Yeah, exactly. So, instead of having some kind of DiGiorno or something like that. But I'm sorry, I'm a little, just like we are with beer, I'm a little anal about my pizza as well, but I still will have Domino's and stuff like that. But I had time earlier, so I went out and got some rechargeable batteries for my controller, and so I'm
you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. So I'm gonna, now that Tom told me that, I am gonna be jumping.
I hope it works for you.
I know, me too. So,
is it just the earbuds?
I have the regular Apple earbuds, so I'm gonna plug those in and see if they work.
Okay, I mean, hey, it's worth a try, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if those will work, but I've never tried them. I have no idea.
Those are usually clear.
Cool.
Oh, do you have an Xbox, Earth?
Well, my kids have Xbox.
And do they usually do they use those earbuds in their controller?
My son, he does. He likes Apple products, so he uses them. They fall out of my ear, so I don't use them personally. But so I got these ones. These ones I could push in and they stay.
I'm just curious, because I thought you had to have a specific headset for the Xbox controller, but Tom's saying
he uses. I think he uses something called Turtle Beach or something like that.
Yeah, those are badass.
Oh yeah,
yeah, those are really nice. Yeah.
See, I'm not sure if like the ones that I have, the HyperClouds, when you buy it on the box, it tells you that it's adaptable with like PS4 and Xbox 360, Xbox One. So I'm not sure if yours will work.
Oh.
Because it's just the earbuds. I don't know. Can you speak with those?
Well, yeah. I mean, they have a microphone. I mean, you use them for your phone. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
That I know, I have no idea, to be honest, if those will work. But for all that I know, they might work.
I'll have to. Well, I'll find out here in a minute. I'm gonna get out of here. If anybody wants to friend me now on Xbox, I'm Javin JJAVEN on. That is my gamer tag on Xbox. So you're more than welcome to friend me on there. I don't have a camera anymore, but hopefully I can get on there and talk. If not, I'm probably going to be bugged enough where I'm going to have to go to Walmart and find a headset.
You will.
I probably will. It'll happen. That'll be more than likely to happen. Yeah. If not today, then probably tomorrow. But yeah, I'll probably have them before the weekend's over. Anyway, we're out of here, guys. We'll see you. Peace out, man. Hey, has anybody found like an untapped for spirits? Because, man, I'm logging I could possibly log a lot of whiskey and a lot of rum lately. That's for sure.
But maybe you have to start an app for it then, Joe.
Yeah, I ain't got enough stuff to do.
Yeah. That's actually a good question. I haven't looked into it myself.
Unspirited? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Uncorked.
That could be.
Yeah.
That could be a thing, right?
Could be.
Let me see. What would you call it? A spirit?
Top tapped or something.
Well, it wouldn't be called spirits, would it? Would it be called
Untapped?
Spirit?
Should have been called Uncapped or something.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, spirits, social app.
Wow, he's really time for it now.
Yeah, that might be saucy.
Well,
that's I've heard about it. Have you heard about that? Now, that came out a long time ago, right?
I've heard many things about saucy, but
we just talked about that, right? Because we talked about moist, remember? And how people didn't like. No, but I remember talking about saucy back in the day.
Lost in the sauce.
Now, saucy, when I was still in Albuquerque, wouldn't deliver to Albuquerque, but they're an alcohol delivery service. You order it, and I think in 30 minutes, it's supposed to be at your house. So you've never heard of? I'm being reminded about saucy now. See, delivered fast, right to your door. Pretty cool, huh? So you enter your zip code, find out if they deliver to you or not. If they do, you're in business. Los Angeles Times does, so I would assume that if you're in the LA area, you're in business, baby. you don't have to go nowhere. You could get your liquor game on. Yeah.
Hmm.
One quick thing, next Saturday I might be joining with a few of the UK beer tubers. I'm heading up to Manchester. I'm meeting a guy called Paul from PA Brew News. He's coming across today to the UK.
Oh yeah, I've seen him. PA Brew News. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming across to the UK, and we're meeting up with him next week. Well, I'm meeting up with him next weekend, but he comes actually today, the Sunday now, tomorrow for you guys. So yeah, next Saturday, that's a potential, but it could be a bit rowdy, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin your show.
Well, Tap Hunter, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't look like we're quite there yet.
It will happen, I'm sure.
It's got to happen. If spirits,
It'll happen. It's got to happen.
Liquor's getting more and more popular. So right now it looks like it's just apps that'll help you find, beer and wine and liquor. But sooner or later it'll happen. Maybe the people that made Untapped will make a wine and
a sister app or something.
Yeah, some sort of sister app, something like that. In any case, guys, we're out of here, man. We'll see you next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. Thank you to everybody that tunes in. I appreciate it. If I'm able to, I'll try to do some sort of comments show or recording and possibly a Sunday coffee, but I find it more challenging now that I'm on this schedule. But yeah, I'd love to talk with people, man. I'm hoping Tom got me all fired up now. I'm going to end up just like Urs says. I'm going to go into Walmart. I swear to God, the earbuds aren't going to work.
Go get a headset.
I'm going to have to go get a headset.
You can get a decent headset, a gaming headset for $40 if you really want a headset, or $50.
Air traffic controller headset.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Tom, the air traffic controller.
Right.
Yeah,
So
he's got that down right now.
Yeah, he's got that down right now. He's doing that right now. Yeah. So we're out of here, guys. We'll see you, man. Peace out.
Hey, guys.
Good, y'all.
Cheers.